Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. We have made it to the middle of the work week once again. Thank the Lord. We done finally made it. Y'all, honestly, I've been up for probably about 2 hours. Yeah, I went to sleep earlier than what I expected last night, but I think that's a good thing. Rest is a good thing. Y'all, I had my dinner. I took my shower. I listened to Pizarro's, and the last thing that I remember is listening to Pizarro's. No. I listened to Pizarro's, and then Demon Soul and Ro went live for the whole report, and I got on that link. I got on Demon Soul link for the whole report with her and Ro. And y'all, after I got off that link, Demon Soul told me, well, J.Dunn, you can come back. She was like, well, this link is for Ro. You could come back. And I was like, okay, well, I'll come back. Girl, that's the last thing that I know of. That's all I know. Y'all, I slept. I needed my rest. I needed my rest. Now, the one thing that I did take note of this morning while I was, because I woke up 2 hours early because I went to sleep so early. And I was just, up in the house doing what I do. I got my iced coffee together early, you know, and I was just reflecting. But then once it came time for me to start this show, I said, well, I really don't have too much to talk about when it comes to the beef sector because I'm tired of talking about the talent show. But I did me a prayer and I was just like, I guess a prayer / meditation. I was just like, give me something that these people need to hear, whatever they need to hear. Y'all, I don't know what y'all need to hear. I don't know. Well, I said, Lord, just give me something that they need to hear. One thing that I did notice during my prayer / meditation this morning is I had to check myself and I had to hold myself accountable because y'all, for the last few months that I've been doing my prayers, I've not said thank you. Sometimes you can get caught up in the routine of praying, but you always asking. You always asking. You always needing something to be done. Well, Lord, can you help me with this? Lord, can you help me with that? Lord, can you help this person? Lord, can you help that person? Lord, can you give me this promotion? Can you do? But a lot of the times we get stuck in the cycle of praying without simply saying thank you. I had to check myself, y'all. I was like, and I don't know. I don't know if it was the Lord speaking to me or what, but I realized that I had not said thank you. And y'all, if I'm going to be specific, I had not said thank you for about a month and a half. Where you kind of get so stuck in what's going on every day that you forget that simple word. So I had to say thank you. So if y'all ain't said thank you, please say it right now. And let's go ahead and get into the rest of my message. First off, let me see who is all up in here. Good morning, Ray Triggs. Good morning to Melissa Scott. Good morning to Just Lovely. Good morning to Daniel Bear Sports. Good morning to everybody. Melissa, you did a great live yesterday. You did. Y'all, Melissa went live yesterday and she was kind of giving her opinion about the talent show that happened over there at Lemon. Good morning, Barry. Good morning, C-Mac. She was doing her commentary about it. It was funny to get her perspective. She said that, Room Shakers, hands down, was good. She said that she thought both were successful, but she said she preferred her peace of mind and her alone time over there at Room Shakers. She said that she appreciated the intimacy. She said that Lemon show was too long, and y'all, his show was really too long. I said that I think that's the consensus with everybody with this talent show. I think there is something called mental overload. Where look, we could be the smartest people up in the room, but there is something about being overly stimulated for a long period of time that just kind of make you check out, even if you ain't trying to check out. The thing with what Melissa was saying was, she enjoyed both of the shows. She supported Room Shaker because Room Shaker has always supported her. She talked about the different contestants. She talked about the different contestants, specifically 3B sector contestants. Well, it was Yusuf. Well, it was. She talked about Lovely Love. Lovely Love said that Lovely Love, Yusuf, and Honest Rose should have placed. Well, first off, Yusuf, and this is based on what Melissa was saying that Lovely Love said. Yusuf is not B sector. He's not. I'm not sure why Lovely Love threw his name up in the hat, but he's not B sector, but Lovely Love included him. Even with Honest Rowe. Honest Rowe did a good job with his performance, but he could not remember his lyrics to his song, and that's just problematic. If you trying to win $1,000, you got to remember what you're doing. You can't expect somebody to just give you something off sympathy. Good morning, Miami Popo. With Lovely Love, people have been talking about Lovely Love setting her table on fire. I watched Lovely Love, combat this that people have said about her, and she tried to defend herself. But y'all, I ain't even gonna lie. What Lovely Love did in her performance, I've done before. I almost was hesitant to even tell y'all that I've done that before. But when I was an inquisitive adolescent, when I was an inquisitive 6th grader, 7th grader, 8th grader in school, I used to do that regularly. And so I still laugh about her, quote unquote, catching her table on fire. But y'all, I used to do that all the time. It's crazy when you are an only child, like how I was growing up. You will find the most things amusing. The most things amusing. And specifically with Lovely Love, with what she did up in that competition where she lit the table on fire and people was like, oh, you about to burn your house down. Let me tell y'all exactly what Lovely Love did, because she done been on panel to panel trying to explain to y'all what she did. Let me tell y'all what she did. So in my childhood home, the one in Mississippi that I owned for all these years until I sold it in 2021, the bathroom, one of our bathrooms had this countertop surface space. And there was the sink, but then it was like this countertop in there. My mama she loved lighting candles. My mama loved candles. She loved incense. She loved potpourri. She would put it up in the pot and burn it up on the stove. She loved that type of thing to keep our house smelling good, everything. I started getting very, very inquisitive about fire as a kid. I did. And I remember learning about rubbing alcohol. If you take, and actually you could take any type of alcohol, and this is how I know. This is how I know that Lovely Love didn't want to waste the alcohol that she could drink. She would prefer to waste the alcohol that she could bathe in. Because if you take rubbing alcohol and you pour it onto a surface, don't let it be a wooden surface. It's got to be like a countertop or like some type of marble or porcelain. It can't be like a flammable surface, y'all. But if you pour the rubbing alcohol on that surface, all you have to do is take a match and you could put that match right there. You don't even have to let it touch the surface. No, just put it close enough to that puddle of liquid, and it's gonna become engulfed in a flame. Good morning to everybody coming in. Good morning to Tebay. When it engulfs up in the flame, y'all, as long as there is alcohol to be burned, it will burn. As soon as all the alcohol has burnt out of that puddle, then the flame goes away. I used to do that a lot. Primarily, I didn't have matches on deck, but in my bathroom at my childhood home, I had Q-tips up in there. And my mama, like I said, she would light all these candles. So I would take a Q-tip and stick it up, stick it in the flame of the candle that was burning. And then I would put it on the puddle of rubbing alcohol. So it's funny that Lovely Love did that in her 50s. She called that a talent, but that was something I was doing since I was like 13 years old. But I think it's crazy because now that I've been a grown ass adult paying my own bills, I would never think to do that up in my house. But that was some shit that I used to do at home. But that's only child stuff, where you just find things to keep you entertained. Good morning, Miss BB. You find things to keep you entertained. When I was a child, y'all, I would even so one thing that I did used to do as well is go and catch the light bugs. Y'all call them the lightning bugs, but the light bugs where you go outside and you could see them flickering as they flying around the yard. And I would just go out there with an old pickle jar or something and try to trap a couple of them in there so that I could then take a gander and figure out how in the hell this motherfucker light up. I used to want to manufacture darkness to see if they was going to light up or if they were nocturnal to where it had to be naturally dark out or if you can manufacture it. I was doing all these weird ass science experiences. Or not science experiences, but science experiments as a kid. So that's what I think Level Love was doing. Now, let me go ahead and move on to the next part. So Level Love thought she should have won. Melissa said, nah, you shouldn't have won. Honest Roll, he ain't say that he should have won because he did forget his lyrics. Honest Roll is very humble. I appreciate that. Yusuf, I guess Yusuf thought that he should have won, but people were saying that in my opinion, Yusuf came later on down the line, so he probably because Lemon had it where you couldn't red ball to see the beginning. I think Yusuf came there thinking that the only talent that had showed up was the talent that he was able to see. And given that it was like 38 people, I'm exaggerating. They said it was 32 people. But because it was 32 people that had performed, I'm thinking Yusuf thought, oh, I got this up in the bag. But Yusuf came after the show had already been going on for 2.5 hours. Now, maybe if Yusuf would have showed up at the beginning, he would have saw all the people from the beginning, then it would have been different. But I think that he came towards the end. So he was thinking that it was not that stiff competition, but it was. It was. Either way, I commend all of them for doing what they need to do. for the talent show. I actually had thought about exercising my own talent on this platform here. Lemon got me blocked over there up on this channel, y'all, so I wasn't even able to participate even if I wanted to. Lemon want me to be blocked, and that's fine. Lemon got his own demons to take care of. And I don't know if it's weird to y'all, but I'm gonna tell y'all something that's honestly and truthfully true. When I come up on my computer and I open my computer and I click this live button, y'all are truly people in my computer. It may be a handful of y'all that I actually view as human beings because I know y'all on a human level. But for the most part, y'all are just people up in my computer. When I see people going through ups and downs and tribulations upon this application, y'all, I don't pray for them. I know people have called me chaos demon and all types of things in the past, but I don't pray for these people up in the computer. I just don't. Now, if I've met you in real life, if I know you on a human level, if I know that you're a real person, then that's different. I can give you a prayer. But even like with whatever is tormenting Lemon, as much as I know that something is tormenting him for him to have these horrible patterns of behavior and this alcoholism that people are coddling him with. Not once have I stopped and be like, let me pray for him. Because why? Because why? But either way, with him hosting that talent show, y'all, I think that he got a lot of work to do, but I'm sure that most people think that I got a lot of work to do. But specifically when it comes to his talent show, I think that he is getting to the habit of trying to lead with his money, which really lets me know that he never had anything. He has not. When you can sit back and look at people and look how they throw money up and all of this, brag and boast, you ain't never had much up in your life. The fact that he called himself going for women up on this application, but then them women don't want to go for him at the same time is crazy. Good morning, Olivia. The fact that, he's still stuck up in this love tango with Billy Goat Raw is crazy. And even now, y'all, I'm looking at him and Billy Goat Raw having some type of issue because of the man Shamar Sledge. Shamar is from a different sector, the Latrice Allen sector, but he been coming over visiting in the sectors. And Shamar, I was over there at Shamar's a few times, even before Shamar and Billy Goat Raw, even before they became an item or whatever they are. But I would go over there and talk to Shamar, and I found out me and Shamar both were born and raised in Mississippi. I found out me and Shamar both grew up gay in Mississippi. Found out me and Shamar both had gone to Jackson, Mississippi in our college days. And that was the first time that we ever got shot at and had to run from a bullet. I mean, I found out all these commonalities with Shamar, so I would go over there and support him. But now that Billy Goat Raw is crushing on Shamar, whatever they got going on, Billy Goat Raw has become territorial to where Billy Goat Raw don't even want anybody to go over there to support that man. A couple of times I still went over there and I was trying to say, well, like, look here, Shamar, I was over here supporting, but Billy Goat Raw is trying to tell this man what to do, who to talk to, who is good for him, who is not good for him up on the platform. Follow me. There's a point to why I'm saying this. The whole territorial spirit is weird because it's almost like Billy Goat Raw don't want nobody to support this man, or Billy Goat Raw feels like anybody that is supporting this man is only supporting this man to spite him. And that's a whole narcissistic, crazy ass way of thinking because you just don't know what types of bonds have been built before there was ever you. And this is going to get to my topic here. And I'm happy you here, Ray Trees. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. I'm happy you here because I titled this Spaghetti Junction and Hot Sauce. Now, if you are not from Atlanta, or if you've not lived in Atlanta, then you probably don't know what Spaghetti Junction is. To be honest, I've been living here for about 10 years now, and I didn't even know what Spaghetti Junction was until Monday. I know most people like to carry this narrative that I'm unemployed and all this kind of stuff, but it was on Monday that I ended up speaking to a colleague, and just indirectly, the colleague was telling me about this jumper that happened at Spaghetti Junction. Like somebody jumped off of Spaghetti Junction. I was like, what? Now, I had already known that people had been talking about this couple here in Georgia, Duchess Dior and the Frenchman, and how they did this whole thing on Facebook talking about they had herpes. Somebody gave somebody herpes. It was a whole bunch of argument. Then the man ended up unaliving. Duchess, and then unalived himself, from what I've heard. That story is still unfolding. But I don't think y'all knew. But on Spaghetti Junction, on Father's Day of all days, do y'all know that a man had went over there and jumped? Did y'all know that? A man went to Spaghetti Junction on Father's Day, y'all, and jumped in broad daylight. For the people that's in the Metro Atlanta area, did y'all hear about this? I honestly feel like this story was so overshadowed by what happened with that Facebook couple that people didn't even know. And then for me, when I was told about it, I was like, Spaghetti Junction, and then they had to kind of explain it to me. Oh, Just Lovely said that she don't watch the news. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Now, the whole Spaghetti Junction thing that I heard about from my colleague on Monday, and when I found out what this man did on Father's Day, the first thing that I wondered was like, what in the world was going on with him? What did he have going on to make him feel like this was what he needed to do? Not only that, but then another thing made me try to humble myself, because how many times we get stuck in Atlanta traffic and we get pissed off about it. Meanwhile, there's somebody that might be hogging up the traffic because they done jumped off Spaghetti Junction. And it's like, well, what in the world you had going on? What made you get to this point? How did you even get here? Well, looky said, what is Spaghetti Junction? Well, I'm glad you asked. Well, looky. Let me go ahead and present my screen. And please like the video as y'all come in. This ain't really a messy B-Sector live. This is just a real life reflecting live, y'all. Just real life reflecting. This is Spaghetti Junction. Do y'all see this man up there? This happened on Father's Day, y'all. On Father's Day. And when you just sit here and look at this man just standing right here with traffic going on below him, with people passing by up in their vehicles, do you ever just sit and wonder, why in the hell is you up there? What happened in your life that made you feel like this was what you needed to do? Good morning, Bernice. Do you ever think, like, what happened? Oh my God. Why? Why? Not only that, but just glancing at this, y'all, when I was in undergrad, we always talked about the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, because the Golden Gate Bridge was very notorious for people just going there I'm gonna show you, just lovely. The Gate Bridge was notorious for people going there and just jumping. I guess it was like they had got to the end of the road up in their life and they just felt like they needed some type of instant gratification. They would just jump. But at least with the Golden Gate Bridge, they would jump into a body of water. But here in Atlanta, they have Spaghetti Junction, in which people will actually just jump into ongoing traffic. So let me go ahead and click here. Y'all, the man did end up jumping. He did end up jumping. And it's like, why? But then on the same breath, you're not trying to judge the man, like, because I don't want to judge him. I don't know what he got going on. But then to pick of our days to pick Father's Day for this. Like, why? To me, the reason why I brought this up is because this right here happened and affected so many people, affected the traffic, affected everything. But I think this whole story about this one man has been overshadowed because of everything that happened with that couple in Facebook. Yes, he is no longer with us. Focus on you. He is no longer with us. He's no longer with us. And the reason why, if you search Spaghetti Junction Atlanta, if you search in TikTok, if you search it in Twitter, if you search it on YouTube, Instagram, if you search it, you will see even more videos because this is a busy area of 285. Is it 85 or 285? No, 85. A busy area of 85. And so many passers-by were bringing out their cell phones to record this. And that's another thing. Why is it that when we see something like this, which is clearly somebody in distress, that we put out the cell phone to record it? What are we trying to do in order to why are we trying to bring the cell phone out to record stuff like this? Why was nobody pulling over trying to talk him off of there? Why was nobody taking out their cell phone to call 911? Why did they take out the cell phone to record this? Then it goes back to that couple that did the whole crazy thing on Facebook where they got the cell phone out recording each other, talking about how they gave each other herpes. And please like my video. Got the phone out on the Facebook Live, talking about how they gave each other STDs and herpes and who cheated on who. Who cheated on who, why this is horrible, all of this kind of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, y'all are looking at dealing with the wrong thing. So Just Lovely said it's 85 and 285. Okay. I was like, y'all doing the most. Y'all doing the wrong things. But even with them doing that, I was actually watching the recap. Somebody was recapping that Facebook thing, that Facebook Live. And essentially they got into this big old argument. The woman had been cheating on the man. The woman felt like the man was broke. The man also felt like the woman's side of the family was putting hoodoo, voodoo, voodoo, witchcraft stuff upon him that was causing him to be unemployed and stuff. It was just a whole bunch of stuff going on with that story. But they went and streamed it on the live. And unfortunately, both of them ended up losing their life on the live. And it just led me to believe, like, why? Why have we come to this point where social media is the first thing that we go to? But again, people say going viral. But what's the point of going viral if you ain't here to see you go viral? It goes back to the whole Las Vegas thing that I spoke about a couple of times last week, because that was a trending topic. And it's like, okay, that whole Las Vegas thing happened where the man unalived that couple up in Vegas, and it was captured. But again, okay, you went viral, but if you ain't here to see it, then what's the point? Or is it the fact that people are so starved for attention to where they would prefer to get the attention any way that they can, even if it's attention that they get after the fact, they'll never be able to see? Just Lovely said, I use 285 late night listening to music. I would go around 2 times. Oh, you used to drive it. Yeah, I heard 285 ain't nothing but a whole circle. And I've heard people saying that they drive it, but I don't deal with it. Now, I will say, back home in Mississippi, I would do that back home. Like, if I just need to drive and get away, yeah, I do it back home. But I ain't getting on 285 and just drive all the way around. Hell no. No. Hell no. At best, if I just need to drive around here, I take the back roads and I go from point A to point B on the back roads, and then I come back. But I ain't just getting on 285 to joyride. CMAC TV said that's one angle. The one recording, sadly, wants to go viral too. They do, and it's just like, okay, so you go viral because you document this, and then what? And then what? And then, y'all, I ended up, while I was researching this story, after I found out about it on Monday, y'all, I found out that somebody jumped in Lake Lanier as well. And I was just like, why is people still going to Lake Lanier? A 27-year-old man was recovered from Lake Lanier 2 days ago. So I guess that was what, Monday? I guess they went to Lake Lanier for Father's Day, and so that's what they want to do. Be at Lake Lanier. And we already know the dangers of Lake Lanier and what Lake Lanier could bring. And then I'm just be like, well, sometimes I just feel like people, I feel like people just be taking chances. Taking chances. It's weird. I'm looking here now because I'm trying to see if I can find another angle of this that happened. Let's see. Because I saw several angles, but y'all, I was looking at it in different ways. But long story short, when you look at stuff like this, and good morning to Jinx, good morning to Dreamy Jeannie, good morning to Dre Day. When you look at these types of stories, it's like, okay, I've been hearing so many people say that social media ain't fun no more, or social media, it used to be fun, the beef sector used to be fun, this, that, and the third. But has it really been fun? Because all of these stories be right there, but I think we be so fixated on shit that really don't matter that we don't realize that these things are going on. And I guess the reason why I'm pointing this out is because this is right outside my own front door. Like, it's like, what? Dreamy said, I think society like dirty laundry. We are in one big episode of Black Mirror. And Just Lovely said that she would drive like that to clear her head during her divorce. Okay. Within the beef sector, I hear people say, "Oh, it's not fun anymore. It's not fun anymore." And now that I done got off the serious tip, I'm gonna get into something more lighthearted. But I had to give that the severity that it deserved. But okay, the beef sector is always talking about, oh, It used to be fun. It used to be fun for who? Who? You know, I have seen people that they say it was so much fun a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. But it was fun for who? It was fun for you. It was fun for you until the tables turned. It was fun for you and your faves and the people that you have a cult and group think like mentality with. But then once the tables turned, it ain't fun. No, it's still fun. Y'all, when I sit here and I listen to people be like, well, it didn't used to be so dark. For who? Y'all, I be ready to jump through my damn computer screen. Y'all saw how Virginia had crawled through that chair? How she crawled through that chair up in the competition over there at Lemons. Sometimes I be ready to jump through my computer screen and slither through my computer screen like how Virginia slithered through the chair. Because I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all crazy. But again, it's more so, it used to be fun because nobody was bothering me. It used to be fun because I was the one picking at others. It used to be fun because I was the one with the upper hand. It used to be fun because I had this cult-like following in which everybody was able to attack the person that I dislike. It used to be fun. No, 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 no. Fun for who? Even I was listening to Pizarro's last night when I was getting ready for bed, y'all. And it was Pizarro, Lady Nika, Demon Soul. I think it was them three up there. And essentially they was talking about how Lemon was saying that YouTube used to be he didn't really say it used to be fun, but he said that he didn't really have the supporters backing him up or something like that. In which Lady Nika had to interject and say, well, Lemon got a ton of supporters. That's why they call it the Lemonettes and the Lemonaires. He got Lemonettes and Lemonaires backing him, but he's still trying to give a sob story. And then, when I think about the sob story from him, I think about Billy Goat Raw and Billy Goat Raw's sob story when he got outed out the closet because he decided to live a lie on YouTube. It's like, if you don't get on YouTube living a lie, then there ain't no way that anybody can out you or pop you in a lie. So that's why it's probably best to just be transparent and honest. Unless you trying to impress the masses. Unless you got a whole bunch of people up on here that you want to impress because you trying to get popularity. Make it make sense. And Dre Day said, good morning. Just Lovely said, that's how I look at MAGA. Make America great again. For who? Girl, I used to get into it on Facebook with people that I graduated high school with because of MAGA. I remember one of my colleagues that I graduated with, he posted a picture. It was a black and white photo from my hometown, and it was showing one of the local banks. And when he showed the photo, he was basically saying that was his grandparents up in the photo. And that's how it used to look. And he wanted times to be like that. But the crazy thing is, in that photo, there was no black people. None. Even though black people were there was not any up in that photo of the business. And once I ended up asking around when that happened, because this had to be about 10 years ago. 10 years ago when this photo happened. And this was before Trump ever became a president. But when I saw that posted, I posted a comment. I said, well, I don't see any black people. I said, why would you? And I wrote this to somebody I graduated high school with. I was like, why would you want our hometown to turn back into this when you don't see a single black person up in this photo? I said, what do you want it to be where y'all can be able to walk on the sidewalks? Your grandparents, I said, because my grandparents weren't even allowed to go in through the front door in this photo. So then I ended up having a whole argument up on Facebook with my classmate about it, and it was like a whole brawl. Because if y'all think for a second that I'm opinionated just on YouTube only, y'all crazy. I haven't been the same opinionated person my entire life. And once I started bringing up those talking points, like, hey, you wanted to be back like this so that my ancestors could be disrespected, so that your ancestors could be on top. What is this? What is this? What you're talking about? Then it was like, well, why are you making it about race? Well, I'm making it about race because I'm looking at this photograph of the town and I see not a black person in sight. And this is how you want the hometown to be. I said, I still have relatives there, even if I don't live there. I said, no, I don't want it to go back like that. I don't want it to be back that way. Because if it's back that way, then that would mean that there would be stipulations upon my people. But it's funny how people only look about how it benefits them, and it makes me go right back to the beef sector, where people are like, well, the beef sector used to be fun. For who? The beef sector used to be fun for who? Because think about the countless people who had CPS called on them here in the beef sector. Think about the countless people from back in the day who got doxxed on here. Think about the countless people who had to witness crazy stuff. I mean, hell, even go to Tracy. At this particular point, I don't believe that anybody in the beef sector had to witness what Tracy had to witness when she saw that picture of her mama. And when I say of her mama, the one with her mama up in the casket. Was the beef sector fun then? Hell, her mama was up in that. They put that picture out here. Was it fun then? Or it was fun because it ain't have nothing to do with you. It was fun because it wasn't affecting you. But then people will criticize Tracy and her performance up in the talent show when she was trying to do something a little bit vulnerable and relatable in her performance as far as her mother goes. But who was it fun for? Who was it fun for? But then once the tide turns and then people start swinging at y'all raggedy asses and start getting that get back, then it ain't fun no more. Then you wanted to go back to the time was fun. Please get the hell up out of my face with that mess. One thing that I'm noticing too about the beef sector is because I remember when the Umar sector first started merging over here, and it was a running joke that the Umar sector, specifically over there in Coast, the Umar sector would do crazy ass shit to each other. Them men over there would do crazy ass shit to each other. And then they would turn around and apologize to each other for it. And I remember a running joke before they really came around and we got to, or before I decided to give certain of them a chance to try to figure out who they were as individuals. I used to think that all they did was do this crazy ass mess to each other and then apologize for it. Everything was an apology. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking to myself, what is the point of the apology if you go still do the same thing? Hey, Serum of Truth, what's the point in that? Ray Triggs, I knew you were still up. And see, Ray Triggs, I have to say, you the most credible one from over there. And it's sad that you had to be the blueprint for me, but you had to be. The only reason why I was able to even entertain or give most of these Umar people a chance is because of Ray Triggs. Good morning, Black Pearl. Because Ray Triggs seemed like a normal dude. He wasn't over here trying to pick at me for no good goddamn reason. He wasn't trying to clout chase. Okay, Kajor too. He wasn't trying to clout chase me. He didn't want to improve his channel or his numbers. He was just over here like laughing, trying to figure out what the hell was going on. He came over here and laughed. Then he invited me over to his card games and poker and spades and all this. I went and played. I had a good time. Then I saw how crafty he was with him, doing his work on the computer. Long story short, he was the blueprint. Where I'm like, okay, well, if it's people like him over there, then they can't all be bad. I said they can't all be bad. And then K Kajor can't all be bad. Look, Dr. Nikki. Dr. Nikki moderator. I'm talking about the men over there, not the women. Not the women, Dr. Nikki. But I ain't even gonna lie, Dr. Nikki had checked me. Oh, since she want to drop down and be messy, let me get you right on together. Let me get you right on together, Dr. Nikki. So Ray Triggs seemed to be like the blueprint of the men over there. So I will go to Ray Triggs' channel, and I remember going to Ray Triggs' channel like one of my first times ever going. I have been watching Up in the Clouds, but I wouldn't just drop down and talk to them because I'm like, I don't know them like that. One time I did drop down. Dr. Nikki was on the panel with Ray Triggs. They was talking about Umar stuff. Whatever they be talking about over there. I don't know. Them over there. And Dr. Nikki, I think she spoke to me or something. And I said, oh, hey, Nikki, how you doing? She was up on the link and she said, no, that's Dr. Nikki. And y'all, it took everything in me not to clap back like, what, Doctor who? What? I said Nikki. But then I had to stop and I had to settle myself. And I said, well, wait a second. If this woman went to college for all these years to become a doctor and she want to be addressed as such, why do I feel like it's my place to be like, nah, your name Nikki? Because I promise you, that's why I was like, who? But then I have to remember, if I had went the extra mile and got a doctorate or, got a PhD or anything like that, then I would want to be respected. And then I had to think about it. Hell, over here in the beef sector, Jay Wilson, they've been calling him Dr. Pastor and all this kind of bull mess, and we don't even know if his degree is real. We don't even know if he is real. He went to seminary, went over there to the seminary, went down to the local church and got him a doctorate certificate or whatever he got. People been calling him doctor, and we don't even know what's the truth or not. We don't know. And that's why I'm like, well, this lady, she want me to call her Dr. Nikki. Okay, I'll call her Dr. Nikki. But even still, that was me learning the environment that I was in. But I say all that to say it took me kind of just peeking in over there, and I was like, okay, all these people ain't bad, so I'm just gonna keep watching and see what's going on. I'm gonna see what's going on over here. And I gave them a chance, they gave me a chance, and now it's a few of my favorite people and supporters that's from over there in the Umar sector. But again, I want to go back to the people saying that the beef sector used to be fun, but it ain't fun now. And good morning, Robin moderator. Good morning, everybody coming in. Because it just seemed like now that the tables have been turning, and y'all know I done had my day, my up and my down up on this motherfucker. Y'all, 2 years ago, I was just out here scratching and damn surviving because everybody was trying to clink lock me up. I couldn't cuss a bitch out back because they want to say, oh, y'all, I remember the lady Paulette Waters. Paulette Waters was trying to yell elder abuse, trying to get me a violation on my probation when I was on probation. She talked about elder abuse, that I abused the elderly because I cussed her ass out because she cussed me out. Anything that I did, any little bitty thing that I did, it was like, oh my goodness, it's elder abuse. Oh my goodness, it's child abuse. Oh my goodness, I'm about to call them just a whole bunch of hogwash. But we all have our time. We all have our time. So again, when people say, well, I I want to be where it used to be fun. Fun for who? When every single time now I type up in the chat, people trying to get a bitch locked up. Fun for who? Y'all, and that's the thing. That right there is a testimony in itself. That over the course of a few years, where people was just, that was just their goal, that was their aim, y'all. And it was like, I don't know, sometimes being in YouTube and being on here does feel like a video game, so to speak. I don't know if it feel like Call of Duty sometimes, but it feel like something. Especially when you got all these people like aiming at you and like pop, 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 trying to get you down. And then you just keep rising above and rising above and rising above. It's a beautiful thing. But sometimes when you are on the other end of things, it's not fun. And I guess I just really want to take a time to remind everybody that when you say YouTube used to be fun, you're going to have to ask yourself, fun for who? When I hear people say, oh, the beef sector is so dark now, it's so dark. Why is it so dark now? Because it's dark for you. The beef sector ain't changed. The beef sector done been the same all this time. Please like my video. It's just now things ain't up in your favor like they once were. Things moving and shaking a little bit differently. And not only that, I appreciate the laws catching up. Most people would think me, of all people, would be so resentful about the laws catching up to the internet. But as soon as I knew that the laws could catch up to the internet and I could be got, then I know y'all motherfuckers could be got too. And I think that's the crazy part about it, is because so many people thought that the laws caught up and it was a great thing because I was able to get got. But then they forgot that they could get got too. And now that that law's catching up and now they getting got, whether it's losing Patreons, whether it's losing channels, whether it's losing this, that, and the third. Oh, now it ain't fun no more. Oh, it ain't. Oh, it ain't. Okay. When you rejoice about laws being able to catch up and rules and regulation and guidelines be able to catch up to get the next person, then you got to know that that makes you fair game too. That's what that does. And that's what you will see. When you run around just taking aims and stuff at other people's channels because that's what you think that you should do to prove your loyalty and to prove, your allegiance to the next person. But then now, them very same laws that you was trying to hem somebody else up with, they hem you up. They hem your favor up. They hem others up, and then it's like, oh, it's not fun no more. What? No, it's very fun for me now. It's fun for me. I think it's fun for Tracy. I think it's fun for me. Hell, I think it's fun for VS. It's fun for Room Shaker. It's fun. It's fun. Just interesting. But I'm on the whole tangent in the soapbox. But y'all better hear what I'm telling y'all. There is something that's very, very slightly gratifying about being able to turn the damn tables and then just see how other people squirm. When other people have their back against the wall, y'all, and they get the crying and hemming and hawing and complaining and like, what? Do y'all know how many times just here within the last month or so where the people was ready to get me hemmed up legally because of limiting his channel, only for them to be plotting for the demise of my channel and they lose theirs? And I'm not specifically talking about Ness. No, I'm talking about in general. Because now it's like everything just coming home to roost. Even as far as it's being fun. Y'all, yesterday on Codes, Malik did try to make amends with me. He said he not gonna bother me. Malik said that he won't bother me for me not to bother him. But I think it's unfortunate that it took a man coming and cussing Malik out the way that that man cussed him out over there up on Laurie's for Malik to finally have a different stance about things. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to take the smallest victories. You can't always expect a huge victory. Just take the smallest ones. And please like my video. Y'all, I was thinking about doing a throwback Thursday for y'all. Um, Probably won't be this week, maybe next week, but I was thinking about it because the last time I did a throwback Thursday, people liked it. And especially when I do the throwback Thursday where I show myself up on the camera, people love it. So I was thinking about that. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that YouTube is fun for y'all? Oh, thank you. Focus on you. Good morning, Michelle. Let me see what focus on you. Oh, thank you, focus on you. I appreciate it. I definitely am. Because that's one thing. I think so many times people have such tunnel vision to what's going on in their computer screen that they stop looking at what's going on in the life around them. Did have him on mute, focus on you, and did. And did. You know, and I think that was golden. That was magical. It was almost a totally different person. I was like, And y'all, just imagine if Brooke really would have been crazy enough to try me, to try to fight me and stuff. You know, just imagine. Only for it to just be all this hogwash. Only for it to just be people sending people up on missions. Only for it. One other story that I did come across too. This ain't a local story, but yeah, I ended up coming across this video and I saved it to my playlist. But would y'all believe that there is a story about this man that was in the jail? I think he might have been in prison. He was in prison. He was serving a hefty sentence, but I can't remember how many years it was. But with him serving that sentence, he had already been serving 2 years, and there was like this outreach program that they were promoting in the prison where you could write letters, almost like a pen pal thing. And the man up in the prison ended up writing and making him a pen pal. He was writing back and forth with this individual named Alex. Alex was a female. So the man is in prison writing letters with Alex. They connecting on this amazing level that they never would have thought that they could connect with. And while they end up connecting, y'all, they end up falling in love. Where this man doing his lengthy sentence of years is looking forward to these letters from Alex. Every single time Alex is writing a letter, this man is so over the moon, head over heels, happy and in love about getting a letter from Alex. And they did this for 17 months, y'all. 17 months just being pen pals, writing the letters back and forth, back and forth. Then finally, the man wanted to meet Alex, but they had talked so much in their letters about the passion that they had for each other and what they would do. Oh, so you already know. You already know, just lovely. Hold it. Don't spoil it for everybody else. Don't spoil it for everybody else. They had this passion throughout their letters. They couldn't wait to meet each other in person. And so the man that was in prison, he spoke to the guards to see, what he could do about having Alex come. The guard said that there is no conjugal visit unless you marry the person. So the man writes the letter to Alex and asks Alex, will you marry me? Alex responds to that letter and sends a ring in the package to the man. A ring. So, long story short, they end up getting married. From a distance, though. From a distance. I'm just like, the jails allow you to just marry people without being in the presence of each other. Like, they let you do that. Y'all, it's so many parts of that jail story that I'm just like, really? But thank the Lord, I ain't never been in jail or prison, so I don't know. But so they end up getting married. Alex is coming for the conjugal visit. Alex is feeling scared at this point. Because now she done married this man in prison. This is her husband now. Her mama done already took time off work to drive her up to the prison for the conjugal visit so that she could finally meet her man in real life. But here's where the problem lies. Alex was born a man. Alex was born a man. Alex was on hormones. Alex had gone through cosmetic surgery, including breast implants. Alex was in the process of getting bottom surgery, but had not gotten it just yet. Alex was one to secure a BBL. Now, at this particular point, Alex had feminine features by the face because of the hormones. But imagine Alex writing with this man in prison for over 17 months, and they decide to get married, and now he ready to consummate the marriage, and Alex got to show up to the prison to consummate this with this man. This man still don't know that Alex was born male. So Alex's mama go ahead and drive Alex up there so that they could do the conjugal visit. The mama sits up in the waiting room while Alex goes ahead and is led to the room for them to meet up by the guards. Alex is sitting there nervous, waiting. Alex still ain't told this man that she was born a man. Good morning, Asia. Good morning, Asia. Good morning, Lemons Lake. Still ain't told that she was born a man, y'all. So they get up in there for the conjugal visit. And what y'all don't know is that in these prisons and jails, when it's time for the conjugal visit, they let the two people get up in there. They have 2 hours, which that's the craziest part. Like, imagine somebody giving you a time limit on your adult time. A time limit for real? 2 hours. What? But they had 2 hours. There is no cameras, no nothing. You just get put up in there. What's good, Kimberly Black? So Alex up in there waiting, nervous. The man of her dreams, the man that she been writing for over 17 months, her husband, show up in there. He got passion and desire up in his eyes, y'all. He run up to her and grab her and just start hugging on her and kissing on her and everything. Good morning, pretty chocolate girl. The passion is real. But Alex kind of starts rejecting his advances and was like, wait, I have to tell you something. That man done been locked up for over 2 years at this point. He don't give a damn what Alex got to say. He said, I don't care. I don't care what you got to say. I done been. Asia said 2 hours is enough. Not for lesbians. Asia, not for lesbians. For real, not for lesbians. That ain't enough. And the only reason why it's not enough for lesbians is because sometimes it take you a little bit to get to that spot. You got to find the spot now. You got to remember, they just meeting for the first time. In a lesbian marriage, 2 hours ain't enough. I don't even know where you spot at. What's good? What's good, Stephanie? Like, look, I gotta figure out where the G spot is. I don't know what part of your clitoris needs to be stimulated because, some people like a little diagonal zigzag on the clit. Some people like a straight up and down on the clit. It's a lot of guesswork, problem solving when it comes to lesbian situations like this. That's why I'm like, what in the hell? 2 hours for the first time? 2 hours? You crazy? But anyway. So Alex is like, rejecting this man is like, I gotta tell you something. He like, ain't nothing that you gotta tell me. He was like, I've been waiting all these months, to finally consummate this with you. You look as beautiful as you did up in your pictures. You actually look even better. All this. She like, well, I really gotta tell you. He started getting kind of upset and perturbed, like, what in the hell you gotta say and why you said it? Alex said, I'm not the person that you think that I am. He said, well, what you mean? I don't care. I love you for you. She was like, well, you won't love me for me once you know who I really am. He said, well, what is it? Alex said that he was born as a man, but he's always been a woman, just in a man's body. So by this point, the prisoner / husband is like, what? So he kind of off put by, but he don't know if she joking. He don't know what's going on. He don't know if it's a prank, whatever. He said, well, then you gonna have to show me. He said, show me that you a man. Show me. Oh, I'm from Mississippi. I was born and raised in Mississippi, but I lived in Louisiana for 5 years, Stephen. He said, you're gonna have to show me. So by this point, he just still trying to get at her. They kissing and stuff, and Alex started feeling an arousal. Or what is that called? The erection. Alex felt the erection, y'all, of himself, though. Of himself. Imagine you kissing all up on a woman because you like, oh yeah, I'm about to get this woman. And you feel that woman's peen get erect. By that point, the erect penis is standing. Alex pushed him away again. No, I really need to tell you, I was born a man. By this point, he ended up pushing Alex down up on the little bed, the twin bed that they had up in there. He ripped her blouse off, ripped her bra off, and she had breasts. They were small breasts, maybe even Lovely Love type breasts, but breasts nonetheless. And Lovely Love, I'm just using you as an example. Don't get bent out of shape now. But Lovely Love breasts is what she had. So he see the breast and he just ready. So then by that point, he started working his way down from the breast down to the stomach and everything, and then he get there to the waistband and he start unzipping the pants, unbutton the pants, unzip the pants, stick his hand up in there, and he felt that peen. Y'all, that man felt that peen. Realized that was a real man. Alex was looking, still had passion in her eyes for him, but looking at him, y'all, that man ended up putting his hands around that lady's neck and choked the shit out of her. Choked the shit out of her. And y'all, he choked the shit out of the woman, left her lifeless up in there in the conjugal visit area for the prison. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe it? Let me see. Y'all, I gotta type it because I know y'all probably think I'm putting on. Y'all probably think I'm putting on, but I ain't putting on, y'all. I am not putting on. Because I need y'all to see. I need y'all to see right here. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Y'all, he choked the shit out of her. What's good, Zoe? What's good to everybody? I'm sharing my screen right now so y'all can see. I ain't lying. I am not lying. Now, if y'all look up this story on YouTube and just put inmate finds out his wife is a man and killed him, then you can hear the whole story that I just kind of gave to y'all. The reason why I think this is relevant in the beef sector is because we got the Tosas, we got the Dimples. Shauna seems to be pretty upfront. Who else? The Sparkles. Now I found out we got a new trans woman around here. Her name is Pink Bow, Pink Bodo, or Pink Dobo, something like that. Pink somebody. And that I've listened to her on a couple of panels, and she said that she's also trans. But it made me think about the beef sector because a lot of the times we have these trans women that will try a man and they think that it's a joke. They think that it's funny. But imagine this right here. And the crazy thing is, y'all, he murdered this lady. He murdered this lady and he continued his sentence. He was pissed off because he was going to get made fun of by everybody else up in the prison. Once word got around that the woman that he married, that he thought was his wife, was actually his husband, you know, that was going to make him feel embarrassed and ashamed. Well, Lemons Lake, I don't think this is their real pictures. I think this is just the pictures that the content creator used to tell the story. But I don't think that it's their real pictures. And the reason why I don't think it's their real pictures is because this story was too controversial for anybody to be using people's real pictures, especially considering that this person is really up in jail. And so, especially the man being up in jail, using his real picture and embarrassing him, humiliating him, you'll get your rump in a world full of trouble because he seemed to be a street dude. But all they did when he did this murder, this unaliving of his wife up in there, they just put more onto his sentence that he was already doing. He got dogged out up in the jail. Essentially, once this woman was unalived in the little conjugal visit room, her mama who had drove her there, the guards had to come outside of or come into the waiting room and ask the mother if the mother could come and identify the body of her daughter. The mother had to identify the body. She ended up having to bury her daughter. It was a whole crazy ass thing. But it just is one of those types of stories that make you think, like, y'all gonna have to stop playing with people. Trans women gonna have to stop playing with people. Trans men don't really play with people like that because trans men are very vulnerable, because at the end of the day, at the heart of things, they are still women. But trans women, they gonna have to stop playing because people don't play. Especially some of these men don't play. But yeah, this is an interesting story that I really recommend that y'all go and look at. To get y'all point of view, get your thought about it, because it's just like, wow, this shit really happened. And please like my video if you haven't. And then just think about the trans women that we deal with here on a daily basis and some of the stuff that they think is funny. Hitting on straight men, hitting on heterosexual men, or even entering this different sectors, not even letting people know that they are trans. I mean, hell, if we're going to be honest, back to the whole introduction of the Umar sector, when the Umar sector first started coming around here, I remember the very first time that Dimples hit Code Link. I remember when Dimples hit Code Link, and Code didn't even know that Dimples was a man. I mean, he probably had a guess. But remember, when Dimples first was trying to hit Cole Link, Cole wouldn't even let Dimples up there because Cole was scared. Cole was scared to let Dimples up there because Cole didn't know what he might say or if he might say some hate speech or something. He was doing all this stuff. Now he over here with us and we can't get rid of him. Now we can't get rid of him. He won't even go back. Lemons Late Night said, I'm telling y'all, this shit is real. Don't play with peeps. My friend was jumped, burnt, put in a bag, and thrown off a roof into an alley because of something similar. Okay, because I was like, they both look nice, just sad. Asia said, child, dating prison dudes is dangerous to begin with. Correct, but notice how many actual natural born heterosexual women do that. And I thought it was crazy for heterosexual women to do that, where they will date somebody that's already locked up and accept them and like, oh, well, I love him and I'm going to wait on him to get out and all this. But I had no idea that trans women doing the same next. And it seemed like based on this story, the man in prison felt lonely, serving out his sentence, and the trans woman, Alex, felt lonely in a city where she couldn't really be herself. And so they bonded through letters on paper, through words on paper, and it ended up having such a deadly end and deadly consequence. And my question is, how many times has this happened and we just don't know about it because it didn't make headlines? How many times has something similar done happened and it's just not worthy to be on the news? Y'all, this is a crazy world that we live in. Crazy. Lulu, you don't woke up? He want to bark. Let me know that he don't woke up. But it's a crazy world that we live in. And that's one of the things too. Again, when I hear people say, well, the beef sector used to be fun, it used to be fun for who? I think now it seems like I've seen trans women more than ever before in the sector. And I'm happy. I want them to feel welcome and everything. But I want them to understand that you shouldn't be playing with these men like that. Hell, even my lesbian ass, I don't play with these men like that. I don't play with them. And a trans woman shouldn't be playing with them either. Them motherfuckers crazy. Asia said, they think it's sexy and thrilling, child, until it's not. Then Just Lovely said, I was going to talk about both cases. Stop romanticizing prison dudes, women. Correct, Asia. But that's what they do. I guess, it's the bad boy type. But I will say, y'all, how can I put it? I think that a lot of women on this application find me appealing because they think that I'm the bad girl. I believe that. Y'all won't believe how many women were actually Instagramming me and emailing me while I was on probation. And for the life of me, I didn't understand it. I'm like, now y'all know I'm on probation. Y'all know that I'm on probation because of the reason why I was on probation. And y'all still trying to hit me up and want to meet up and want to send me your ass pic and want to do this and do that. Y'all, I couldn't understand it. I'm like, y'all ain't scared of me? But they wasn't. They were not scared of me. I was like, whoa. Yeah. Good morning, Toby Turner. I was like, whoa. I had to take a step back and be like, what? But I feel like people find you more appealing like that because you done had a little bit of trouble and shit. And I'm like, what? I ain't lying, Toby Turner. I was getting action. And I was like, oh my goodness. Then y'all, it started happening so often to where I thought that I was being set up. I'm like, why in the hell is y'all sending me y'all news? Who trying to set me up? I don't need this up in my computer. No. Even I ain't about to put her name up in it. I can't put her name up in it. I was about to give y'all one example, but no. She don't put my name up in nothing, so I ain't about to do. I ain't about to put her name. But it's one specific person that was like wanting to send me one picture as a proof about something that was going on, like something salacious that was happening. And I was like, and I said, don't send me. I said, I don't even want it up in my possession. Because if anything happened with this picture or whatever, I don't want to be to blame. I don't want you to even be able to say that I had the picture or anything. But it's something appealing to women about that. And I'm like, why? Because I damn sure know that if a woman is on probation, I don't want no parts with you. Hell, if you done been in jail, I don't want no parts with you. Hell, and as a matter of fact, typically, whether I'm dating online or offline, I might dox you just to make sure that I know who I'm dealing with. And that's real. That's why I be like, what's your real name? Your first name and your last. We can't do nothing. We can't move a step forward. We can't do nothing. I need to know who you are so I could go ahead and dox you. Let me see. Let me look you up. What you got up in your background and all this. I need to know it all. I don't need to depend on you to tell me the truth. Let me go ahead and look you up. We'll talk about it as things progress. But girl, I need to see who I'm dealing with. What's good, LaDon? Good morning. But yeah, but that story was unreal, y'all. When I saw that story, I was like, oh my God. So, like, as much as the beef sector, it's been kind of slow. Y'all, it's so much other stuff to be able to look at and to analyze. Content comes in all forms. It don't always have to be messy. It don't always have to be the messy content. Please like the video if you haven't. I just said running background. Girl, because it be just that time when you be like, oh no, she a good girl. I ain't got to run her background. And you be like, well, wait a second. That's when you need to know who in the hell you dealing with. That's when you need to know. At this particular point, I think that it's mandatory to look the person up. I think it is. Look them up so that you won't be surprised, and definitely invite them to look you up. Look me up. That way it ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about nothing. You know all the details. You ain't gonna be caught off guard. Michelle said, that's why the girl husband, she made him locked up and he had already unalived his sister. Man, I would run like fuck. LaDon said, don't look me up. You'll be disappointed. LaDon, if I look you up and you ain't got nothing, girl, I'm going to be glad. I'm going to be like, oh, okay, good. I can trust your word. Well, good. But I need to know the truth. Some women be pussyfooting around the truth. Asia said, there are so many free people out here. Stop chasing jailbirds. Don't go chasing jailbirds. Please stick to the free people in society you used to. I know that you'd rather have a jailbird or nothing at all, but I think you're moving too fast. You heard me? Adrian said, and run that credit score too. Girl, Toby Turner said, girl, a whole scandal. Some of them were smuggling rugs in the jail for that dude. You don't want no 200 credit score. No, you don't. Which that was another thing, because when Pizarro was replaying Shamar's live, I heard them talking about how I guess Billy Goat Rob is talking about how he been having a couple of vehicles and he always had a vehicle. And I'm like, that ain't no flex. You 30 years old. You better have a vehicle. He's like, I do got a car. I do got a car. Well, I would hope so. Hell, you able to get a driver's license at the age of 16, so I hope you been had a vehicle. Don't talk about, even with Lemon talk about he got 2 vehicles over there. Well, you should. Y'all motherfuckers up in y'all 30s and y'all talk about y'all got a vehicle. You should. How y'all supposed to be men? The hell? Kate Kajor said, that's a lie, as he always does. Kajor, I remember when he did have a car, but he claimed his car got repossessed. And I'm thinking to myself, if your car got repossessed, then that means that you have a horrible credit score. I mean, who in the hell repossessing vehicles? So you mean to tell me you got a vehicle that you ain't paying the note for? So they have to come and take their shit back. But I ain't trying to drag Billy Goat Raw. But I did hear him say that up on the replay of Pizarro's, and I'm like, I'm sick of men bragging about a damn car, but still living with their mamas. Bragging about a car, but you still living with your mama, make it make sense. It don't. It don't. But yeah, y'all. I gave y'all an hour and a half this morning, which is great. This was an hour and a half of content that was local news content that kind of factored in with the beef sector. But then also this story that I think everybody should check out. If y'all got a few moments today, check out that story about that man and the lady. The lady that he married while he was in jail, y'all. That mess was crazy. And I think somebody would lose their life behind that, but you can't be running around here tricking people, that's for sure. You can't be running around here making people fall in love with you, that's for sure. I do want to thank Focus on You. Focus on You did contribute to my goal today. Thank you so much, Focus on You. I really appreciate it. Y'all, if I do a throwback Thursday tomorrow, it probably will be tomorrow afternoon, but that's only if I do. If not, then y'all will definitely see me first thing bright and early Friday morning for my morning show at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope that y'all have a great day today. Y'all take care, be blessed, don't stress. And I will talk to y'all later or see y'all on the panel somewhere. Okay, y'all. Bye.